What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing a beer from RaR Brewing, and they're out of Cambridge, Maryland, and this is their For Luck. So this is a triple IPA that is brewed with Citra, Nelson, Sauvin, Galaxy, and Rakau hops. It comes in at 10.1% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in time of review. And this can is approximately 2 months old, and I picked this one up at Halftime Beverage via halftimebeverage.com. So in the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies that I grabbed. I grabbed 31 beers in total, 10 of which were from RaR. It was a mixed 10-pack that included 6 different offerings within their out-of-order pastry sour series, 3 hop-forward beers, and a pastry stout. And this is the first of the bunch that I'm reviewing. And the reason I'm reviewing this one first is because it's a bit older, at 2 months old. However, I've heard very good things, not only about this beer, but their hazies in general. Apparently, they picked up one of the brewers from Corporate Ladder, which is a brewery in Florida, and their hazies, people have been going nuts about them recently. And there's a couple hazies in this mixed 10-pack, and I'm here for it. So, like I said, the hops that are in here are Citra, Sauvin, Galaxy, and Rakau. They also mentioned Citra Incognito on Instagram and Untapped. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. I hope it's delicious. It is 2 months old. However, I've seen a couple of my friends talk about this one on the aforementioned Instagram and Untapped, and a couple of them have had it in like the past week to week and a half, and they still say it's kicking ass. So I'm hoping this is quite delicious. We're going to give it a pour here into the glass and see what we got going on here. It is that milky goodness that so many people go nuts about nowadays. You know, seemingly lots of carbonation. Do something like that. It definitely seems like it's rising, even though I didn't pour it all that aggressive. So yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping that it has held up quite well. That is the reason I picked up that mix pack, because I'm like, all right, the out-of-order beers, the pastry sour series should be fine. Will their hop-forward beers be all right? Well, that has that absolute milky goodness that most of you love nowadays when it comes to hazies. Yeah, it looks like, shout out to Joe over at Giles Arcade, who says like somebody took orange juice and poured milk into it. Has about a 2 finger of a, on camera, that looks super creamy in person. Yeah, it looks super creamy. It's a bright white, that colored head that is super creamy. It is dissipating, but the body itself is super milky, has that like, lighter kind of yellow color. It's so hazy, you're not getting through it at all. So yeah, it is what it is, but it looks really nice in the glass. It really does. Anyway, let's get a nose. Holy shit. I try not to let the hype affect me, or like what people are saying about it. I always try to form my own opinion. For this being 2 months old, and technically this is, I should take that back. This is just over 2 months old. Okay, just over 2 months old. This smells like it's fucking 2 weeks old. There's even a little bit, I'm getting like a little bit of like perceived hop burn, or what's going to be like, it's fucking, they do say they brew this one with 12 pounds of hops per barrel, which is insane. It has a slight vegetal kind of nose, not hop burn, but like vegetal, like raw hop matter. But dude, there's tons of, to me, passion fruit. There is a lot of like exotic fruit. So I'd say passion fruit, lychee, guava. But there's a huge pineapple kick I'm getting, probably from the Galaxy, maybe the Rakau as well. Peach. Here's one I haven't said in a while. I remember last time I said this. Maybe a little bit of papaya. I think they mentioned papaya in the description. So maybe it's just my memory. Planting the seed in there and now I'm saying it. Could be. But papaya, I don't really mention papaya too much, because a lot of times I don't get things that are reminiscent of papaya. Lychee, which I've had recently for the first time, like the past 6 months. Shout out to the motorcycle. All of a sudden it's like, high 50s and there's motorcycles, because why not? It almost has a slight milky kind, like almost like there's lactose in here. I don't know if there is, but it has like a little bit of vanilla, just like a milky kind of sweetness to it. I'd say a little bit of like a sweet orange. Huge dank vegetal vibes though as well. Dude, this smells fucking wild. And it just looks wild. It just looks like, honestly, like orange juice with milk in it. So sometimes, with beers that look like this, to me anyway, They're usually too sweet, too over the top, whatever. It's 10.1%. I am getting, thankfully, no malt out of this, like no real malt, maybe like a slight white bread. It has a hop saturation that is very akin to like a lot of the new school hype breweries, like your Troons and your Fidens and breweries like that. Anyway, I want to get into it. Cheers, everyone. Let's see what this one has to offer. Two thumbs up all day long. Two things make this beer what it is for me. Number one, the body is definitely big, right? But it's not bogging down the palate. So that first sip, it's thick, but it's not overly, viscous. It's not syrupy. It's not like fucking drinking a fruit smoothie. And there is an insane dryness on the, like this is over firmly dry. This is like bone dry. And I need that. I've said this before. If you guys have been watching the channel recently, you know I've been loving West Coast IPAs, West Coast doubles, triples, the whole nine. And I think they're more of my jam than hazies at this point. However, if you're going to give me a hazy, give me this. I need that dryness or bitterness, combination of both, whatever the case may be. The days of me drinking super juicy, fruity hazies with absolutely no bitterness and super sweet, done. This is not super sweet. And it's 10.1%. This is fucking delicious. And yes. So, body. Lower side of full, medium full, 10.1%. It's appropriate. You could say it's full body, but I've had fuller triple IPAs, certainly hazies before. But it does have a nice, thick, viscous kind of body. The mouthfeel is fantastic. This is mild to moderately carbonated. Very, I wouldn't say very soft, but it has a softer approach on the palate. And because of that, it has a great, smooth, creamy sensation to it. Body and mouthfeel are fan-fucking-tastic. Okay, the taste is also fantastic. I want to pour a little bit more in here. I want to see, and this one was upside down in my fridge. And then what I do, and I do this for a lot of hazies nowadays, about 10 to 15 minutes before I review this one, I take it out of the fridge, let it warm up a bit. And by the time I pour it, maybe it's like 20 minutes out of the fridge. But I'll leave it right side up after I have it upside down because it seems to do a better job of kind of like marrying, in terms of the haziness and everything. It doesn't separate. It's not, it's not like half of the can's gross and the other half's not. Again, I'll be honest with you, on camera, it looks more, I'd say it looks, why is it not in focus? It looks more, I think, it looks brighter on camera. That's a first. It looks brighter on camera than it does in person. That's wild. Front to back, there's a ton of fruit flavors going on. The real main player in this one for me, believe it or not, is pineapple. Like it gives me old school Galaxy vibes, like crushed sweet pineapple. There's passion fruit, there's guava, there's lychee, there's a lot of exotic tropical fruits, a little bit of like papaya, like an overripened papaya. Underlying orange character, like it's juicy, sweet or tangelo. There's a little bit of peach. There's a lot of fruity character. There's also a huge dankness on the finish. It has a dank, slight vegetal kind of feeling. So it's almost like a big dank pineapple or dank tropical fruit kind of finish. Again, bone dry, like substantially dry. And I will say this, however, this is the one knock I'll have on this beer as far as like my own palate and how I perceive it. This has a big, I know fresh, to me, this would have a lot of hop burn. To me, personally. Now, maybe you wouldn't pick up on it fresh. If you had this fresh, post comment section. Did you get a big hop burn? Because even with 2 months, there's a little bit of like a very mild hop burn in the throat, down in the chest. Like it just has like a burning sensation that's like that over the top saturated hop character that has like a burning sensation to it. Like it really is green. The green astringency, as I sometimes say. There's also a little bit of like a sweet, crisp white grape. Even though I'm saying soft, smooth, and undercarbed and all that shit, there is like a crisp white grape in this one, probably from the Nelson. 10.1%, nice warming in the chest. Absolutely no stringency on the palate. Listen, you come to the Beer Patrol, I give you my honest take on beers. This is fucking delicious. And A lot of people have been saying that, and I try not to buy into the hype because then I grab them and I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm like, oh yeah, no, so-and-so said this was great, so therefore I should like this. No, I like this because it's great. And if you're going to give me a triple, there's two things that I need. And I always say this. Not overbearing sweetness. I don't want a lot of booze. Guess what? No booziness on the palate. Nice warming in the chest. And while this is sweet, huge dryness to balance it out. It's not cloying whatsoever. And that's impressive, especially for a brewery that only had a couple beers. I think this might be the second, or it could be the first. I should have probably looked, but this is definitely at the very least the second hop forward beer I've had from them, but probably the first. I'd have to look for sure, but it's delicious. It's absolutely fucking delicious. Pouring the rest, and I'll give myself this is why I don't drink 2 beers a day too often. I just said I'm going to give myself a rating. I'll give myself like a 3.2 out of 5. I'm below average. Maybe even like a 3 out of 5. Subpar. Anyway, listen. I have one other beer from them that I'm going to review, the IPA. The other one I have from them is like I didn't review it first because it was already like over 2 months old when I got it, and it's like an old school Imperial IPA. I might still review that one just for shits and giggles and post if it's good like this. So maybe I'll review that one soon. But yeah, I know this is going to sound absurd, but I'm in this straight 4.75 out of 5. This is fucking phenomenal. And exactly, if you're going to, I don't gravitate towards hazies as much anymore. But when I do, this is the type of beer I want. 100%. No questions asked. 4.75 out of 5. This is fan-fucking-tastic, and I'm sure a lot of you haze bros out there already know that. Price point availability, no fucking clue. I paid $44 for a mixed 10-pack from the aforementioned Halftime Beverage, so I basically paid $4.40 for that can. I'd imagine 4 packs of that probably like $22 to $26, which is fine. I gave it a 4.75. I'd pay upwards of $7 to $8 a can for that. I would. That's how good it is. 10.1%. Maybe I shouldn't have drank 2 beers in a day, but I did. And availability, it's RaR. They're in Maryland. They do ship to certain states, so check out their website. I know they ship. I know Haste, a viewer of the channel, mentioned before, he wanted me to get some of the out-of-order beers. He mentioned about shipping. Got to buy 4 packs. But they do ship to a bunch of different states, so check out their website. Outside of that, I've never seen them here in the Buffalo, New York area, but they are available also at Halftime Beverage. So if Halftime Beverage ships to your state, you can probably get them from there. Yeah, you can definitely get your hands on them if one of those places ship to you, probably on like Tavor and shit like that. But I don't know as like far as distro where they get. But please post in the comment section if you've had this one before, or if you've had any other hazies from them. Have they been killing it like a lot of my friends have been saying, both on Instagram and Untapped? Based on this one beer alone, it seems like that's the case. I will say, though, the alcohol's starting to get to me in the chest, like it's a big warming in my chest, but it might be a little bit of that, like, hot burn, like mild hot burn as well. That's fucking so good, man. And I love that it's has that hop saturation you expect from the new school, like, hype breweries, but at the same time, that dryness really reins it in. While it leans a little bit sweet, it's not overly sweet. And for a 10.1% Hazy Triple IPA, like, yeah, I thought this would be, when I poured it and everything, I'm like, wow, it's just, you know what, this is not going to be where my palate is anymore. I was fucking wrong, and I'm fine with admitting it. So anyway, I'm going to shut this one down. Appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Check back tomorrow for another review, and I have a bunch more of RaR beers that I'll probably review, end up reviewing most of them. We'll see. But if this is any indication what's in store for me, I'm here for it. To the next one. Cheers.